B-Jump Sunset World.
Sushi,
Sumo, Tokushima.
この番組は地域密着型のボランティア活動を徳島で行っている国際ワークキャンプのメンバーがお届けする30分です。
This 30 minutes broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima. Hello and good evening, Tokushima. We are your hosts for this evening. I'm Mitch from Australia.
I'm Annie from the United States of America.
And I'm Jimena from Costa Rica.
Awesome. This radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is live on FMびざん. This 30-minute broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima. Popular images of Japan, sushi, sumo, yes. But we would like people to know around the world not only these images, but more things about Japan. They share the news from Japan, information about Tokushima, a place that welcomes foreigners from all over the world. No one knows what language will be spoken or what kind of topics they'll bring up. Don't miss it.
Sushi,
Sumo, Tokushima! All right, so first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to Annie for joining us tonight on the radio program. It's her first time. I was a host before a little bit, and so I've just come back.
Yeah.
Not with a bang or anything.
No.
So I'm just usual guy. So I would just like to, just get to know Annie. So this is your first time on radio, that's correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so that's good. And so you're from the US. So whereabouts in the United States are you from?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
Okay, cool. So being in Japan is a little bit different.
Yeah.
You're right.
Can you imagine it's a little bit different from Texas?
Wrong side of the road and everything here. Different food. Okay, and so is this your first time in Japan, or have you been to Japan before a few times?
Yeah. So my first time in Japan was when I was in high school. I studied abroad in Nagoya for a year and lived with a host family there. My second time was in college. I studied abroad in Osaka for a semester. And then following that semester, I did a summer internship in Nagoya where I did research on like Japanese orphanages.
Wow. That's really interesting.
It's very in-depth. So did you choose Nagoya? Was it like you had options of where to go in Japan? It just happened to be Nagoya, or how did it work out?
For the high school program, it was this program called School Year Abroad, and they had a school in Nagoya, and that was the only school they had in Japan.
Wow.
So
okay.
I didn't really have a choice on where to go. But yeah, I mean, I was really glad I went to Nagoya.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it your first time going from the US overseas? Was it your first time overseas?
Yes, that was my first time going abroad.
Wow, okay. And so was it like a culture shock? Like, did you prepare like for coming to Japan, like before you came, like studying like Japanese and like watching movies or anything, like having an idea of what you're landing into?
Yeah, I had studied Japanese in high school for 3 years before I studied abroad.
Wow, so
you're
14, 15, you started studying Japanese?
Yeah, my first year of high school.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, you have a really nice chance then.
Yeah.
To get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really nice. And after Nagoya from Osaka, it's like different. How do you feel the difference?
I'm not sure, like, the biggest difference I felt was, like, personally, because when I was in Nagoya, I was living with a host family, and, like, I was a high school student, you know, and it was, like, a lot like living at home, but when I lived in Osaka, I was a college student, and I lived in, like, a share house with, there were 3 Japanese students and 3 American students living there.
It's a good mix.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I made more friends my age who were Japanese, which I wasn't really able to do much in high school.
It would have been hard too. Being quite, I wouldn't say young, but being at that age in Japan, I think everyone's quite busy, a lot of tests, a lot of exams.
Yeah.
Not having much time to hang out and do things like that. Yeah, socializing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and how was it for you, like, adapting to like the size of the city and stuff? Like Austin is a lot smaller than Nagoya, or is it like the same size as Nagoya? Like how would you compare it if you could compare? I don't know. I've never been to Austin, Texas.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry.
I would say Austin's a lot smaller than Nagoya.
Yeah. And probably more spread out, I think.
Yeah.
Nagoya is very compact.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to drive everywhere in the States. Like here, everything is so close by.
Yeah. Ride the bike, catch the train. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subway.
And then, subway. And so how was it? Was it like how I'd say like the intensity? Was it intense living in Osaka? You think, or you found your balance living in Osaka? Like being such a big city and like, getting lost and all those kind of fun things.
Yeah, I have like no sense of direction, so I definitely got lost a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, I eventually got used to it and had a lot of fun in Osaka.
That's really nice. That's really nice. And then making the pass to Tokushima, which is another story. How was it? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, I actually prefer Tokushima to like a bigger city like Osaka or Nagoya.
I think we could agree.
Yeah, we all agree that.
agree on that
It's
one.
amazing how
That's
all
why
agree.
we're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like I feel so much more connected to Tokushima than I ever felt to Osaka or
We can
Nagoya.
relate to that, I think. Yeah.
I have to say that since we started like this radio program, since I am this radio program, everybody agrees in that point. Like every international people I talk with, they all agree in that. Maybe they were in Tokyo and it was amazing, but actually we just have one guest that he said like he preferred Tokyo or he preferred a bigger city.
Okay.
But everybody always is like, there's something special about Tokushima in that way.
Yeah. And so why did you choose Tokushima? Why of all the places to come?
So I didn't get to choose because I'm on the JET program.
Oh, I see. That's the Japan
Exchange and Teaching program.
That's I've never done it, but I've heard it's like an international organization to encourage teachers to come to Japan. Is that correct? Something like that?
So most of the people who do the JET program come as ALTs or assistant language teachers. I think something like 12% of JET program participants are CIRs, which is a coordinator for international relations, and that's what I do. So I don't do any teaching. I work in City Hall here.
Wow, excellent. Okay. And so they just like placed you in...
Yeah.
Did you have preferences? Did you have to put preferences in parts of Japan?
I did. Yeah, my preference was actually in Tohoku.
Wow, which part of Tohoku?
I just put Tohoku because I wanted to like...
Aomori, Sendai, Akita, okay.
Yeah, Miyagi, because I wanted to like volunteer with like disaster stuff.
Okay. Have you been there? Have you ever had any experience traveling in Tohoku? Or?
I've been to Yamagata.
Oh, cool. Yamagata's nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you go to the temple? There's a famous temple, Tera. There's lots of stairs there.
I don't know. I didn't go there.
Or maybe it's different. Okay, different. Sorry.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, how was your experience there?
It was great. I went to Yamagata as part of the Kakehashi project, which was like when I was in college. It was like my 5-college consortium was chosen to like go on this free trip to Japan. So from my college, 5 people got to go. So I got to go on this trip. It was like free, which was great. The Japanese government paid for it.
Wow.
Okay.
And half of the trip was in Tokyo, and then half of it was in Yamagata.
I see. Yeah, I guess it was a really nice experience, and that's why you wanted to kind of be there for this JET program?
Actually, the reason why I wanted to be in Tohoku was because when I was studying abroad in high school in Nagoya, that was during 2011. So that was during the earthquake and tsunami.
Fukushima,
so it actually affected me a lot. Like I felt the earthquake.
Wow.
We had to be evacuated to Okinawa, and we weren't told like if we could ever come back or when we could come back.
Wow.
Oh my God, yeah.
So like we had to leave our host families, which like I had been living with my host family for maybe 7 months at that point. I'd become really close to them, and I was just like so distraught thinking like I have to leave these people. Like if it's not safe, why are they staying and I'm leaving?
Oh, they stay behind.
Yeah, of course, because they will protect the international people first.
But it felt really
it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible
Was that
because
your first experience in one of those kind of situations?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so after that we did a bunch of like fundraising and stuff. When we finally came back, we just felt like we had to do something, like me and all of my classmates. And so like ever since then, I've just felt really connected to like things relating to that disaster and just like trying to help out.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
okay, and so
yeah.
how long has it been now? You've been in Tokushima. How long has it been?
So I came in July, so it's been like 10 months. Maybe?
10 months. Okay, and you've been here the whole time, like you.
Yeah.
Not. Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, and so working, I guess, a lot. Have you seen much around Tokushima or Shikoku yet in your free time, or?
Yeah, I started doing the pilgrimage.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool. All right.
But I've only made it to number 12.
well, that's more than me.
Yeah.
We should do it. You know, we should do it.
Maybe not tomorrow. It's gonna be raining, I think.
Yeah, no, let's not start
The
tomorrow.
Carrie
Anyway,
film brothers, it was
and
great.
how you feel the people? Because people from other parts of Japan ask me a lot of time, like, why Tokushima? And even people from Tokushima ask, why Tokushima?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like I feel the people, I haven't been like a long time in other cities, so I still cannot tell. I wouldn't say my opinion. But you that live with a family in another place and you live in another cities, how do you describe like Tokushima people? Like, what if there's something special about them? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think wherever you go, there will be nice people there. But I've really felt like a lot of warmth here, like even from people I don't really know. In Tokushima, which like I didn't really feel that in Nagoya or Osaka. So I think there is something really special about the people in Tokushima.
Yeah, I think so
I guess
too.
maybe too, because it's not as like a big tourist attraction, I don't think. Like, internationally, like no one even knows really about Shikoku. You say Shikoku, like where's that? So near us, everyone knows Osaka. Or, of course, Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, but no one really knows Tokushima. It's not really famous internationally.
It's such a nice place. Like personally, I think it's such a nice place.
Yes.
And sometimes. Sorry.
Yep, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, so so we're just going to go on a short break to play some music. So after we come back, I'd like to ask you a few more questions actually about Tokushima, because you sound very knowledgeable, and so if you could talk about that after the music. So stay tuned. See you soon.
Sushi,
Sumo.
Welcome back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So I'd just like to get to know a bit more about Tokushima from you, Annie, if it's possible. So I have the assumption that you know a lot more than I do about Tokushima. Like, for example, we are here every day, we do our work, we talk to people, but I really know nothing. And so I know that Tokushima has a lot of rivers in Tokushima, and so what we're involved in is, maybe people know the Hotenjima, which is like the boat cruise that goes from Shimachigawa, and you go around the city, and they do trips to Ion sometimes as well, not on rainy days. But do you know how many rivers there actually are in Tokushima?
There are 138 rivers within Tokushima City.
That's so specific.
That's a lot.
That's super
a lot.
specific.
I couldn't just make two more, 140, but and I heard that in the olden days, back, I don't know, a few hundred years ago, they used to get around by boat. They used to travel around by boats, I think, more than walking. That's what someone told me.
I had no idea. Like,
it was more convenient. Yeah, it sounded like it was more convenient than before the days of electric bicycles. So okay. And so how about like the kind of, is there any famous areas like in Tokushima? There was the old castle that used to be here.
Yeah,
it's gone now.
Yeah,
it's a museum. But do you know much about the castle or anything that was here on that hill?
Yeah, so the castle was built by the first person in the Hachisuka family. And it was, so the Hachisuka family ran like the Tokushima domain up until the Meiji period.
Okay.
And so the last Hachisuka lord, he submitted to the new, like, the new government of Meiji.
Okay.
And so he decided to take apart the castle.
It wasn't ever destroyed. It was dismantled.
Yeah, they dismantled
Is
it.
that why? And it
I
used to
thought
be
it was destroyed.
Yeah, it was on the hill, right? Is that correct? The hill. That's what was right on the top of the hill.
Yeah, it's called Shiroyama.
Shiroyama.
Like, mountain.
Shiroyama.
Yeah.
It was taken down.
Yeah, it was taken down, and then that guy, that last Hachisuka lord, because he was he followed the orders of the new government. They made him the first governor of Tokushima prefecture.
That was
so
the
he's the
Meiji
first
restoration. He was
major.
the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when like
right.
the shogun was no longer in control, then all of the like Han, the domains, had to like take down their castles and everything. So
Wow.
And it kind of
Yeah.
become like a new Tokushima, you could say, back then.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
right.
it stopped following the shogun and it started being like a state, like more the state.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Do you know much about the? I kind of have interest in trains. It sounds strange, but there's a choo-choo train in the park there. Do you know much about that? And there's a tunnel. That was something around the same time. You don't know much about that, or
I don't
There's
know a
some
whole lot
information.
about it. I've seen
fair
it.
enough.
Yeah, it's pretty old. I know that.
And they have like a little tunnel there and everything that goes through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe people in Tokushima have seen it, but yeah. And there's a really old tree that's in there as well.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 years old or something. This really big tree in the park. Yeah, yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay. And so how about like with the rivers and the bridges, there's any famous bridges or anything like
Yeah.
history behind them?
Yeah. So one of my favorite stories is the Fukushima Bridge. It's like right next to my house. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I didn't know like for
That's
a
why
while.
it's your favorite.
Probably. Yeah.
But it was like I kept crossing this bridge without knowing this story. And then I learned this story and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Tell us the story.
Okay, so if you've ever seen this bridge, there's like this like base to the bridge that's like not a part of the bridge anymore. The bridge kind of breaks off into like two sections,
yep.
and then there's like a base thing in the middle
Okay.
of those two sections.
Yeah, yeah.
So the story is that a long time ago, when they were first building this bridge, they kept building it, and then it would get washed away by the river. So to make it stand like forever, they decided that they would do a human sacrifice.
Okay.
So the way that they decided that they would choose who the human sacrifice was on the first day of construction, they said the first person to come at 10 o'clock p.m. would be the person that they would
Choose.
sacrifice.
Wow.
Okay.
So exactly at 10 p.m., this
Okay.
monk came.
A monk.
A monk came ringing a bell,
Okay.
and they told him, and he agreed to be sacrificed for the bridge.
Wow.
So they built him into that base, and like he was still alive. They say that they could hear his bell ringing for 45 days.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So now we drive that bridge, we'll feel like that's pretty good.
It's a graveyard.
Well,
Not
yeah.
a graveyard,
Well, it's
but
in the water. So it's,
like that
water
specific
treatment.
place. It's like there's a human body.
Well,
There.
that's the story.
Yep.
It's not like
It's not
for certain, but
Yeah.
probably.
probably. I will
Yeah.
believe it. I think it's something that Japanese people will do, and I think it's something that a monk will do. So it makes a lot of sense. So.
wow. Okay.
And it's magical. I mean, it's a little bit creepy, but it's really magical. Like, and after that, they could like build the bridge properly.
Yeah.
And it never
Of
was washed away again.
No.
Wow. There you go. So it does,
Because
it
there's
does
a
work.
monk there,
It does
of
work.
course.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed as well, like when we go out at night, there's some lights on the bridges and stuff, LED lights on the bridges. Do you know much about those as well, like the reasons or any of the
Yeah.
places?
Yeah, so those are all LED art installations. So they were all put in as part of the LED Digital Art Festival. So like
Okay.
I'm not sure if you were able to go this last year, but there's like a bunch of temporary exhibits, but then sometimes they make permanent exhibits,
cool.
which then last,
Wow,
forever.
nice. Yep.
So we have the rainbow raccoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I seen it.
It has a tanuki, like a raccoon
yeah,
dog.
super cute.
Yeah, and so the raccoon dog is in the middle, and then there's like two stories being shown on either side of the raccoon.
Okay.
And so one of them is this old story. It's from this region. It's from Tokushima, and the story is like about these like two clans of raccoon dogs that like had a war in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other side shows this story of like this raccoon dog that like gave like a thank you gift to someone who like did something for him.
Oh.
And then on the opposite side of the bridge, there's like this shaman who's supposed to be like, I don't know, like blessing everyone with happiness. Yeah,
I
it's
see,
pretty
I
cool.
see. And all of those are like stories from Shikoku or from Tokushima.
Yeah, for some reason, like Tokushima has a lot of raccoon dog stories. So I think that's why they made that piece about the raccoon dog.
I see,
Yeah.
I see.
Wow, okay,
It's really
interesting.
nice that they mixed like technology with really old stories. To
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
really
yeah.
sweet spot there, and people get to know those stories.
Yeah. So do you know much about the Yoshinagawa? I think it's quite a big river.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've crossed it a few times.
Yeah,
And
it's
clean it.
No, clean that one. Not yet. Maybe soon.
It's the biggest river in Shikoku, and it's
Right,
considered one of the 3 like most important rivers in Japan.
Wow.
Wow.
Because it's really turbulent. So it has the nickname of Shikoku Sabudo.
Okay.
Sabudo is like a name given to like the 3rd son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
nice.
Yeah. And also it was like really influential in the indigo industry that was like so prosperous here.
Yeah.
Because the way the Yoshinagawa River overflowed every year, rice production was like not possible because the rice fields would flood.
Okay.
So indigo plants are harvested before the river would overflow every year.
Oh.
Yeah, so when the Hachisuka family came and took over, they said, like, let's not make rice anymore, let's make indigo. And then they started doing indigo dyeing, and then that's how it became, like, a really prosperous city.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because and it's like a unique thing from Tokushima. Like
Yeah.
it's super important
It's
and it's
famous.
part
I
of
think
the
it's quite
culture,
famous,
and in
yeah.
whole Japan, it's like known because of that.
Yeah.
So they decide like just specialize themselves, not in rice.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in
yeah. And we've
indigo.
actually got a few indigo plants in Abrahama Park that we look after. So maybe you
Yeah,
can
they're
check
cute.
out those things
They're
as well.
so cute.
So
Yeah.
cute. Wow, excellent. Oh, that's really interesting, all the stuff. I didn't know about Tokushima. There's so much
Yeah.
more to it. It's like just
Today
even
was a
the
lesson.
iceberg,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So actually, if you want to follow any more of this information that Annie puts out there for her work, you can find it on Facebook in the Tokushima City English page. And it's all in English, so you can read that, you can like it, you can add any comments and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so, so I recommend check it out.
Yeah, please.
All right, so it seems like we've almost reached the end of the program. We are waiting for some messages from you with feedback or any requests.
Sushi,
Sumo. Tokushima! So, how was today, Annie, on radio?
How was experience for you?
It was fun.
Excellent, well done. And Himura have always had a good time as usual.
Yeah,
on the
thank
radio.
you.
All right, so this program is hosted by volunteer members working with non-profit organisation B-FM Dagaku. We are open to and accepting any forms of support or contributions you have to offer within the local community of Tokushima. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you wish to get involved by emailing radio@bizandaigaku.net. We are accepting requests via email. Please send emails to request@bfm.jp. So that's again, request@bfm.jp, including the title of the show, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima in your messages. You can listen to this channel FM Bizan on the internet with your PC and smartphones. If you are accessing with your PC, go to the website www.bfm.jp and you will find a pink banner written Simul Radio on the left side of the page. If you're accessing with your smartphones or tablet, download the application, Listen Radio, then select FM BFM 791 FM Bizan with the area Chugoku Shigoku. If you're listening to this radio in the area where it has a weak radio wave, don't worry. You can listen to programs with clear sound through this internet radio system. No one knows what language will be spoken or what kind of topics they will bring up next Thursday. Don't miss it. See you next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.